Right, I think I've got all this set up for the umpteenth time. Let's move that down a little bit. So there's simply a reason why I've not been doing these as much as I've been trying to do, primarily because I'm working on this mod here while scripting stuff, while writing a tool that builds up a lot of the stuff that's going to be used in this in terms of the scripting. So I've been very busy. I've not had time to do a damn bloody thing that I've wanted to do these past few months, so this has all been what I've been focusing on. Trying to get a bit of modding done, but it's primarily just doing render updates, making sure that all these renders are. This is a new room. I don't actually think I've shown this on stream yet. In fact, no, I haven't shown this on stream yet. This is an original room that I've already built for the project. I'm not going to say where it is. You can figure it out on your own from there, but it will be getting shown in footage soon. Only thing I'm doing is just updating the renders ever so slightly because they do need updating. And then I've got to do the masking for this room, which is going to drive me friggin' mad, which it has been doing for a while now. So let me just re-render this and get the render up as well, because that is there. Unfortunately, that means having to crap all that out. Oh, no. I'll leave it there. I don't even have to look at it there, I can just look at it in here, can't I? What am I rendering at this at? This is 640 by 480 in it. So these renders are going to be going at high res at some point, and then I'll have to downgrade the res, and then I have to do all the masking, and then I have to figure out the depth from the camera that the mask needs to be at, so that things are behind the cars, or in front of them, or whatever else you can think of. But I think now it's just working on getting the lighting correct, get the light positions, stop making things look a lot darker than they are, 'cause sometimes the masking cannot pick up parts of the mesh if I'm rendering, because Maya has an option where you can just basically click on the object you want to render and it will just render that object. It's easier for creating masks with, but unless you've got decent lighting on them, it won't pick them up. Sometimes when you export the render, it doesn't look all that great. So it's a crap shot, really. Especially when it's like that car in the front's missing half the back of it. So what happens when you go a little bit mad with your rendering and wanting to build stuff? I have literally got so many more of these rooms to do, and this is not even half of them done yet in terms of masking. I'm supposed to do a teaser trailer of this mod at some point, and as much as I've got the data in those rooms ready for streaming and to show some of these new areas off, I still haven't finished the masking for half of them, and I still need to finish a few of the puzzles that I'm going to implement. Because I now understand how to do simple puzzles and scripting and all that. It's horrible stuff, scripting in this language, I'll just admit that right now. It's not easy, it can be a pain in the ass, and it's when I'm begging for C# stuff, but we don't do C# in these old games, it's only C code. Operation code, assembly language, because why the fuck would we want to actually have something that we can actually use without going mad? Yeah, don't look too bad. I'll leave that light there. But I do need to adjust these lights here. This is using the new light, isn't it? Yeah. Right. So why have I got one right at the bottom there? That should be a bit further up. That's just a bit too out. Push that one up a bit as well. So I mean, it's literally just repositioning stuff. Why has that not got a door? I thought I put a door on you. Just nab it from there. Put you in there. is that one so low? Let me... Okay, I'll let that one off. Need to push them two up a bit. Just above there, maybe. That one definitely needs pushing up. Why have I got them so low to the ground? What was I thinking when I was doing this? Why? Why is that not under there? Did I just say, oh, I'll just do the shits and giggles with this one and I'll just fill in the gaps later? Because that's what it's looking like to me. You can probably guess where it is now just by looking at that building there. That'll just give it all away where it is. You know, considering it's not like... I don't even know what I was going to bloody say then. I have literally forgot what I was going to say. My god, my brain is so bad lately. It's all this crap I have to fucking put up with. Try to get all this to work. And then it's like, yeah, now you've got to do all the masking for the room. And what's that? You've got to redo the enemy positions as well. Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. So I haven't shown a lot of this. And the reason simply is because I want it to be a surprise when I upload it and show the trailer off. And then there's all the other million other things I've got to do for it. It's just getting there. Again, we haven't stopped with the Gaiden remake. We're just on a slow burn on it at the minute. And the simple reason, like I keep repeating with this, is the only reason why I'm doing this mod is so I can get my head right around how scripting works in the engine itself, so that when we all do come back to working on the Gaiden remake, it's not just 2 people doing the scripting, it'll be 3 of us doing it. So the production of it will go a lot quicker. That means we can get the mod out a lot quicker as well and do whatever hell we else need to do. So it's not just 2 people that are doing all the scripting and I'm just doing all the 3D bloody work. Might as well throw myself in and do every bloody bit of everything. And then there's 3 people that are working on the project. In fact, I've got Resident Evil 2 open. I've just realised I've got it open because I'm going through all of these, though, aren't I? Right, so it's a positioning the lighting I've got to do. Probably another 1,000,001 things I've got to do before I can say this is finished. But again, I'm trying to think how many bloody rooms I've actually masked so far. It's a bunch of them. If everyone who plays vanilla Resident Evil 2 knows, you know, your starting area of the game, you only get like one area of the city in scenario B, and you get maybe about, what, 3-4 rooms with the city area in A, and then that's it. Whereas I've gone absolutely ape shit and actually added a starting area that's completely different, in a completely different part of the city itself, and then I've had to try and interlink everything to fit, which was a pain in the ass. So... And then I've been playtesting it as well, because I want this to be sort of hard, but not too hard, if you know what I mean, because I'm not really having it as like multiple difficulties. There's just going to be one difficulty, and it's going to probably be either absolutely brutal depending on how much ammo you use, or don't use. It's going to be absolutely fine, but it's just finding the right balance as well as doing everything friggin' else. But too bad. Oh wait, they don't have any glass on them, do they? So you can tell these are like my older stuff. You can see through these windows. Oh, hang on. Can I... Did that one out? No. Right, I'll have to... Excuse me. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to just make a quick... plain mesh, and then what I'm going to do is just fill the glassing with this, because all I'm doing it for rendering, so I don't have to like go absolutely crazy. Like if I was doing it as actual you know, like if I was putting it in like a next gen engine like Unreal or anything like that, because that would require me to do a lot more work. But because I'm only pre-rendering, I can kind of just slip in little bits and pieces here and there, and it'll just work the same way. Where the hell is me blings at? Where's the window bling? Seriously? There it is, window right at the top. Right, so that just gives it a window. Right, just want to x-axis, z-axis, even, and then quick duplication on these. So, like I said, you can kind of see that this room doesn't have any windows in. I don't think I ever gave it glass, unless I did, and it was a textured glass. I just wasn't happy with it. Because the glass in these, when they're rendered, are actually reflecting stuff. So I'm just trying to just do that. So at least there's some windows reflecting stuff. Not that there's anything that they can reflect, apart from the cars and that, but let me just re-render that, because I need to look it over. A lot of it is just trialing and erroring, a lot of it is just getting textures and stuff so they don't look too stretched in the render. And then another thing is just try to get the collision data in game to bloody match what it is in the renders. And then the other thing is making sure the cameras don't go all crazy, because I've had that happen so many times. But the camera out by God knows how many frigging axis on it, or so many, like, when it's translated it all and it's gone completely helter-skelter, reverse the camera, and it's all the wrong way, and I've had to manually retouch half these pissing cameras up when I've been working on it. That's been driving me mad. But yeah, this is kind of like a glimpse into one of the rooms you'll be going into in the other Survivors, but I haven't pointed out where it's at, but you can kind of take a hint at where it's at with all the buildings that are around it. But I'm not going to say anything other than that, because I'm trying to keep everything ready for when I do the teaser trailer, which will show bits and pieces of gameplay, show off all these. It's just getting everything rendered though, and then the masking data done. Because the mask is where the pain in the ass of it is. Then hopefully I'll have that all sorted and I can start showing stuff off again. Because I haven't been working, I've not done any streaming for over, what, 5 months? I think that was the last time I streamed was last year. And I've been busy just working on this and writing the code for my own little program I've been using to actually make modding all these easier. Which I've updated the name of it on, and I'll have a lot more updating in like what it can do now, opposed to what I did in the previous stream I showed it off. And I've also been dabbling and looking in bio-free stuff as well, which it's sort of similar in structure, but there are quite a few differences. But unfortunately there is no packer and repacker that we can use to unpack and repack and test data, because nobody's wrote one. And if they haven't released it in public, so we're kind of like got the idea of how to present the data, but we don't know how to test the data to see if it works, because we've got no way of extracting and repacking stuff efficiently yet. Which is what's just holding us back with Bio3, among other things, because it's a lot more advanced in the engine than what we're doing with RE2. See, now there's a nice little reflection going on in those windows. Might notice I've used these vehicles. Well, you realise it when you watch some of the footage when I get there, that I've used these vehicles that you see quite a bit. But that's only because they did it in the old games, the Capcom. They put like a DeSoto every frigging where, so I've done a DeSoto every frigging where. Changed the colours on everything. Changed like the damage as well. Try to put as many different squad cars in. The SWAT van does have a purpose, but I'm not going to explain what it is on stream, because it's part of the mod itself, and that's all I'm going to say on it, because people are probably looking behind that building there and seeing the other SWAT van from Outbreak and be like, why have you got 2 SWAT vans in there when there's clearly only one in the renders? Well, wouldn't anybody else like to know? But I'm not saying anything. Right. I had to change the road texture as well. I got a lot of people moaning that it was too dark. So I had to go and change it so it's a lot brighter, but it's still using the original road texture I had. But I can only do so much. So just separate that a minute. Because that be using a different one. Didn't I have that as a separate entity anyway? Was it did I call it? What did I call it? I know it was it cop car lights or something? Car siren. And then watch how it'll just horribly break everything. There it is. That's the one I'm using. I've got one that's specifically set up for using like Maya's own what's the word I'm looking for? It's using its own like materials. So basically when I put lights in and make the material reflect like this one does, it just makes it look a bit more interesting. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. I just want to get it positioned in the position on top of the car and try and make it as accurate as bloody possible in the rotation, I think. Scale that down a bit. Push that down a bit. Right. Where did I put that light at? There, wasn't it? Grab that light source from there. And what I'll do is I'll just stick this above here. Like so. And then I need to change that SWAT van to the one I've actually re-rendered as well. Because I updated that one quite a bit. In fact, it's not even like that anymore because I tried to make it more like the cutscene SWAT van. So I'll have to show off that area as well. I've bloody shown it off anyway, haven't I? I think. I don't know. Where's that one camera 4? That was camera yeah, that is the right one. Gotta give that pavement a texture as well. This is what I mean. I'm literally going over like the final bits and pieces, getting this all ready for when I do masking, and I still need to do some enemy positions in this. I've got the block data correctly working with most of these rooms, so enemies actually work in them. But that was a pain in the ass figuring half of that shit out. Drives you absolutely mad. I see, perfect. I've still got that room up there, that coffee shop. I've still got that up there, I didn't even realise. Let me just check. Oh yeah, I do. Right, let me... I'm going to have to definitely finish that texture off, so... I don't need to finish that bit of the road off, hang on. Give me a minute. So I know I need it to go to there because that bit needs to be retextured, but I'm going to do that soon. Right, where's my road texture at? Where is my road texture? And there's another issue, is when you've got that many textures loaded, you can never find the right bloody one. Is that it? Yeah, right, brilliant. X-axis that. Change that in a bit. Right, pavement. Going all the way down here. Just want to break this down a bit then and just UV map it. Technically, you don't see it there. I don't think. Right, let me get the pavement texture on this. That's the one. I assume, is it? Or is it just looks like it? That's not the pavement texture. Where are we at? Nope, that's the concrete texture. That's the pavement texture. Right. Okay. So I'll just quickly do a y-axis on these. I'll leave that like that for now. Oh, then I just need to... I'm going to flip them around for one thing. Perfect. And then I'll do these. So that's x-axis. Get that one up. For that, just because I just need it textured, because it just looks absolutely weird with that not anything on it. Oh, not do it there either. Why did I I mean, I know. Oh, you're just not going to show me the collisions now, yeah? Well, that's just fantastic. Oh, what? I'm not even going to try and figure out what happened there. Right, let me just go back and re-render some of this stuff. Right, so that should now have a nice texture on it. I hope. Ah! Quick! Different texture, different area, quick! I forgot about that one. I had to switch the cameras around because it wasn't working. Ignore that render test. Nobody saw that one, right? That's the one I wanted. Now, I know I could easily just get all the other bits in a room, which I should really be doing, but I need to finish off that part first, and then I need to come back and render this again. So much stuff I have to do in order to make all this look interesting. I might just show that on stream in a minute, because I do have RE2 loaded up. I am just running around a bit. Yeah, so I might do that. But I just need to see what these textures look like. Then I need to go and get the swap van, then bring the swap van in, and then re-render everything again. Excuse me. Still surprised it's like, yeah. This is only at 640 by 480. The rendering times are atrocious with this, but so I've only got like a million one bloody things rendering. Like I said, if you can't tell which room it is now with all this positioned out in the render, you'll figure it out. It's very easy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly re-render that one too, because that's the last angle and I just need to check it out. See how far the pavement goes up. Then I need to go and get the swap van from the starting area, put that in, and then probably start doing high res rendering, and then masking and everything friggin' else. Right. Yeah, that definitely needs texture in that pavement. I knew it bloody would do. I might as well push it all the way up the friggin' street if I'm going to keep it in. Ideally, what eventually is going to happen is you are going to be able to access these roads in the game. I just haven't figured out what's going to be in certain streets yet because I'm still kind of plotting stuff, but that's for like later on. Got it all planned out. I know exactly where I'm going with it. I just need to implement it, which is the reason why, again, I haven't been doing stuff for 5 months and why I've been going mad while I've been trying to figuring out why I had fire and bloody sprites not loading, and then realising it had something to do with the starting area, having scripts not working correctly, having block data not calculated correctly so it breaks everything, and luckily the tools I've been building, this should make stuff just that little bit more easier. But again, at the same time, when you're doing that kind of stuff with scripting, it's hit and miss. Right, yeah, definitely need to put that in. I'm going to do that now, actually. So I'm just going to drag that all the way up until it goes there. And then just again, split all these up as even as I can get them. And then just hit the y-axis. And then I just need to flip all those textures round. Like so. Right. Okay, so that's those pavements done. Right, I'm gonna have to go back to the starting area. I don't really want to, but I've got no choice because I need to go and get the swap van from it. So not really like looking at it exclusively because that's the wrong one. Let's try that again. What the hell was it then? Oh, it's just. I still need to go back and rework that a little bit, but I'll be doing that one next when I get there. I'm not that far off it actually. 3 more rooms. This should make sense why I've not been showing stuff, but because I have no choice really, since you guys are now looking at it, because I've had to come and get this swap van because this is the different version that actually is going to be in that room. Might as well just show the room off a little bit. I still need to fix a few things in here. There's a lot of things that aren't final. Stuff isn't 110% in this room. Primarily because I've been that busy with 1,000,001 things to do. No, I won't need the blood on it. That's only for this street, isn't it? Oh, I forgot about the back, but then again, you never see the back. And, do you know what? Just keep the back in. Just keep the bloody back in. I never did finish these bits. But since technically you're not going to see the back of this one, I've still got time to do the other whatever. Ah! That bit. Right, I think I've got everything I need there. Do that. No, I didn't get the windows. No, right. Oh, and that, right. Right, I only need that. Right, in this case, I don't need the back of it, so I can kind of just leave it at that. Wait, that's missing that bit there, and it's. Rule of thumb, if you've already got the asset built, put it in the friggin' assets folder so you don't have to keep going back and just grabbing stuff. But yeah, that's kind of showing off that area anyway. I'm not even going to try and rotate that. I'm not even going to save this yet. I just want to... Just give me about a few minutes to bloody... So, swap assets. No, we're not calling it swap and ban this. What? Right, not going to save. Because I'll probably come back after and realise I've cocked up somewhere and then I don't want to be piddling around with it. Right, so get rid of the old one now after I've done this. So new swap fan. Then watch how it'll load it in somewhere where I don't need it to be. Where's it at? There it is, on that street there. Right. Now I've got to rotate it. But the rotation isn't going to give me the exact rotation it needs to be to fit that, is it? So I've got to bloody... That's about right. No, hang on. Let me... Drag it out. Oh no, that's the wrong one! No, that's the one I want. Right, you're disappearing now. Why have I got a light source there? What the hell? Why have I got a light source there? That makes no friggin' sense. Right, well that's going to get deleted then. Ah! Yeah, just rip off half that car's front. That's fantastic, that. I'm not deleting anything bloody else I didn't need to do. Right, fine, brilliant. Drag it in. It's about there, wasn't it? Okay. Quick phone call there and then. Right, so where was I? Oh yeah. Putting this in the position, so that's... Push that back a bit. Right. So, I need to re-render this anyway, but I said I was going to. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks much better. But then again, that's because I've improved that mesh and made it a bit more like it is in the FMV. Because if anything, I try and make it as accurate as I can, because the more accurate it is, the better looking it is, and all that mumbo jumbo. Yeah, looks fine, brilliant. Yeah, looks fine, right. So, got a feeling I'll have to change one of the bloody... Oh no. Don't tell me it's gone over the friggin'... Well, it hasn't gone over the game space. Why am I worrying then? Why am I worrying? Right. Okay, right. What was I doing now? Right, I've got that done. The building's done. That's all the vehicles I wanted in. Unless I decide to be a cheeky shit and add one more in, but I can't mentally be bothered doing that. I'm going to barricade. I mean, because I had an issue with this because I had to change all the cameras around, which I've realised I didn't have to do in the end. I've got like pieces of the street that don't lead anywhere, but they should have done originally. So yeah, it's just... I'm just going to put some of these in, barricade that street off. Can I grab one of them? Brilliant. Oh look, more streets that look familiar. I've gone all out with this mod. I'm trying to be... You know, I keep posting stuff like every day on the Discord, but it's usually just texture updates I'm showing, or I'm doing render updates. Then I kind of just post them on here when I want to, or like I say, do streams and get that over and done with, which I've done. So after this, ooh, I might put some glass on the floor though. It's another thing I've not... shit. No! The spoilers! The spoilers! Ow! I'll show them later for feck's sake. Go back to... I'll render free, sod it. I might show a bit of gameplay in a minute. Not that there'll be anything to show, it'll just be showing the masks off, but I'll do that in a bit, because I want to try and make progress this bloody room. Because after this, I've got this done. I've got the other room after that, the room after that one, 2 rooms after that, the entire first floor of a building after that, and a stairwell and additional stuff, and then I might be able to show some footage, but I'm still going to be doing that soon anyway. But I have so much shit more to build and get the scripting in, get all the mechanics bloody boxed in and everything else. It's just... whilst literally cocking up everything when I'm not trying to show you stuff, but also want to show you stuff because it's just random like that. Yeah, I might get some glass shards in actually, just... yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I want to look at the barricades and make sure they're alright. Then I realise I've got to push them back a bit because I've made that collision block too close and everything bloody else. Oh dear, the stuff I frigging do, I swear. I wonder if I should. Oh, fuck it. Excuse my French. Let's do it. Let's hope it doesn't crash. I don't like it if it does that right. Let's make these light up. Let's add a bit of intrigue into it. Let's make these renders interesting. Let's give me a yellow one. Let's increase the ambient colour on that. Make it proper pop out. That's it. Let me just do a quick retest of that render and I'll show you what I mean. I really did pick the wrong bloody thing for this. This is the guidance stuff, but I was having to reset everything up in terms of restream, which I'm getting sick of having to bloody do. If after inactivity for so long, it just logs you out. And then you got to log back in and then do all the stupid. Tell me, they picked all the images in what has a motorcycle, and it's like you pick every single one that is the motorcycle. It's like, try again. I already know I'm bloody human, for fuck's sake. Ah, there you go. Right. Yeah, now I remember what I was going to say. A lot of these floors, a lot of these streets look a bit too clean. So one of the things I was doing was literally going round, chucking glass everywhere, throwing bottles and cans and everything else, just to try and make the room look a bit more interesting. And then getting like wooden planks and dumping them everywhere as well. Literally just took cues from what the streets look like in the old RE2 and RE3 and just literally tried to dump stuff everywhere. Because, again, that's another thing. They just look a bit too bare for, you know, a city that's been completely turned into a necropolis, and all of a sudden it's just, like, really clean. How the hell does that happen? We don't have a bloody, you know, bloody Nemesis running around with a bloody vacuum cleaner cleaning up, do we? Although that would be hilarious, but... yeah, anyway, let's, I'm going to do that now. That was another reason. Going through, making sure it's not as clean. In fact, I might even break some of these windows as well. Well, crack them, crack the glass on them, just to make things look interesting. Give me a minute. I know I've got it in my hyper shades because I've got the texture ready to go. Just set it to 1. I think it was called crack window, wasn't it? Crack window texture. And I'm just gonna put that as a crack fucking window. I swear to God, I've been doing all these like textures, and I've just not cracked any windows in some of them, and some of them are cracked. But there's 2 reasons why. One of the main reasons why I've been doing it is because I'm showing differences between the original renders and the new ones that could be used. That's kind of like hinting at the air. There are some areas that I've taken from like Resident Evil 2 and 3, and you're going to see them again. And also because I just couldn't be bothered doing it. I've been that busy with everything else. It's like cracked windows are the last thing you want to be bloody working on or thinking of. Right, I'm going to get some debris because I actually made an asset which is called debris. Let's find said debris. Where is it? Oh, you could be shitting with me. Where is it? Is that it there? Perfect. You see what I mean? So just like cans and bottles and just kind of like tossing them everywhere. Pushing them back up here and rotating them a bit. You know what? Toss another one down here. And then maybe rotate that one again. Just put that there and... get me glass shards, unless I've got any from on over here. Ah, there we go. Got some glass shards there. Just grab them. Just drag these over here. Maybe throw these over here a bit. Probably throw a few on the top of this car here. Though technically you're not going to see the top of that car, are we? You don't see any, but you then technically do see the top of it, but I don't know if... anyway. Right, let me just do that. And then just try and, like, position these a bit better. Rotate that bit, potentially. Move it up there a bit. Push that up there a bit. So you could do this stuff for hours. I'm just trying to get everything like get it basically so that it looks more interesting. Don't look fucking boring and clean. I know it sounds stupid when you say that. When you're looking at your rooms, it's like, nah, that's just too clean for what a street should be. In the middle of an apocalypse, zombie apocalypse, and you've got like corpses that are coming back alive. Yeah, there's not going to be any glass shards. There's going to be fucking loads of them. I might make those a little bit bigger, but I'm going to combine them first. So I'm just going to make them a little bit bigger. Might just put them over there and put them underneath that barricade. Make it a bit more interesting. Probably that one later. Right. Back to rendering camera 0. Let's have a look how that looks now. You say, if you remember like the areas in RE2, you can probably figure out what that area is just there across upwards from the street. It is really bloody cold today. Jesus wept. Perfect. I wonder if I should add a few of those in. It's all about just adding bits and pieces and just making things look a little bit more interesting. In fact, get me some glass shards from here because I'm going to put them under that cracked window. Just put a few here. Put a few there. I'll do, just put them there. I should put one of these up here or just drag them back up. Yeah, put a couple of them there. Oh, yeah, we could put a few of these on the street as well. Just, just littering it. Just making it look. Instead of it just being like, basic crap and everything. Just, oh! Not that kind of rotation, thank you very much. What else was there? Now put them over there. No, I believe didn't do that. Right, I need my traffic cones. No, not traffic lights. Why are the traffic cones not here? It's because I didn't put them in this folder there. Gosh. Oh yeah, I got those little wooden ones as well, didn't I? Right. So I'm going to change that to a bling. No reflectivity. Oh, maybe no. Cannot make that reflective, and I don't want that. One of them there next to the squad car. Probably put one of them, or maybe even put two of them next to this barricade here. Like that. I'm just thinking, I could put them there. Could probably put that one in there actually. Like that. Might even put one on the street there and block that off, even though you can't actually get around there. It's just to add a bit of detail in. Here. So you say, this is what I mean. I have to sit there and mentally debate where things should go, if things look right there, or it's the building process, it's everything. It's trying to make things look interesting. Excuse me. Hang on, can I get these? Or are these all combined assets? Shit. Have to be combined assets, didn't they? Right, what I'll do. I know I need to start up in the renders now. So I'm going to up the render asset, the aspect. So it's now going to render at like 1024 by 768. Because you can't really do anything too high res because the engine can't handle anything that's not 320 by 240. So I only do this just to get a little bit more crisper in the details when I do downgrade the render size, and also for masks and stuff. Don't think I need masks in that angle though, but then again, I might do. Because trust me, if I could render these at much higher resolution and put them in, I would do, but I've got to stick with me confines and stick with what I've got. Just makes that more interesting to do. Makes it look a bit more interesting. Well, the problem is then I have to make the collision data, which isn't that hard to do. It's just very tedious. Because it shouldn't affect the block data, because the block data is all done. Did I finish this room with the block data though, or was there still something that was cocking up with it? That might have been another room. Just realised that's still got a blue bottom. Oh dear. I always miss something, don't I? Put that bloody glass there now and you can't even fecking see it. Why would I do this to myself? I suppose I could put them opposite there and put them there. Yeah, I see that bloody blue bit. Why would I miss that? Why would I miss that on the red one? What's going on there? What part is that anyway? Ah! That'll be why. Why would I do it like that? What was my deal? What was I thinking with that? In fact, what the hell was I thinking with this? What the I'm so confused now. What? That's what happens when you go back to doing an asset and you're looking at it and you think, how the hell did I even do this years ago? What like possessed me to do it that way? Why didn't I do it some other way? Right, well that works anyway. Apart from the fact that there's still a bit of blue on the top of there. What? Why is that there? Why? Right. Just fix that. Right, that's all completely red. Not like you can see it in a render anyway, but I'm like, that perfect when it comes to texturing. It has to be done. Otherwise I go just a little bit crazy in my head. Right, let me just do that. There is still a few things I have to do. It's like those signs that are sticking out across the walls don't actually have a texture on them because I can't figure out what to put in there. So some of these rooms are still a bit incomplete by texture standards, but it's only like one or two objects. Everything else is all accounted for though. And then the only other issue is that render times take a lot more when you're doing anything high definition. There is no point in doing 4K, before anybody asks, because Engine only supports 320 by 240. And there wouldn't really much be point in doing a 4K upscale for these. Jesus, it's an old game. That looks fine. That's... Yeah, I suppose I could put a bit of light over there, but then it wouldn't make any sense, would it? Oh! But then again, let me just be a cheeky shit and have a look. If I'm remembering right, isn't the lights like behind the wall? Yeah, there are bloody lights behind the wall. I haven't gone mad. And they're on that straight. Shit. Did I model something similar? Don't the clock tower ones have that same design, or am I losing the plot there? I think they do have the same design, don't they? Let me just check. So, cabin slot there. That's where that is. That's nowhere near there. And there's no lights behind there, is there? I mean, apart from... There's two there. Nothing on that side. So it's just there. Wonder if I should add them in. I don't think I've even got an angle on them yet. No, I haven't. There's no point adding them in, is there? Jesus. But then again, if I did add them in, that would mean additional lighting, which would make things look a bit more interesting. Oh, it'd make that side interesting, wouldn't it? Actually, feck it, I'm going to do it. Right. Let's go back to some bio-free stuff. Let's go to the clock tower. Clock tower. So I'm pretty sure these lights are exactly the same. No, they're not the same, are they? They're not even in the same stratosphere. No, I'm sure I've modelled something similar to that though. Where the hell did I model that? Oh, this is going to bug me now. Where did I model them assets? I know I've modelled that light before. Where did I model that light before? If not in the clock tower, where? Don't mind me, I'm going a bit mad. Just going to look at some of the renders and try to remember which room I actually did this in. Was it one of the streets? Did one of the streets have the lights? Or am I just misremembering correctly? Am I completely misremembering stuff? But I'm bloody sure one of these rooms had the lights. Definitely not Lonsdale Yard. Oh, but then again, it does look like it. And bearing in mind that's 320 by 240 render, so it's slightly different. Do you know what? It may be slightly different, but I'm only needing it for like external rendering anyway. Let's have a look. Yeah, totally ignore these because these aren't getting used. I just wanted to look at the assets. So technically you're not going to see the top of that, are you? So I could get away with that actually. Just quickly do that. I don't know how the hell it did it now. What the Why is it there? How comes it's that far off the ground? What the Oh, yeah, that's why it's off the ground. Because it's got the secondary part underneath it. Stupid me, I forgot about the cameras. I forgot about how RE3's engine's got more ability to have more cameras. And that's why that's so far off the ground. My God, what the feck? Come back to a bloody project you did about 6 years ago, and you're still, well, technically 7 now. And you're still kind of like asking yourself, why the hell did I go with that? Why did I do this? Let me just... Still, yeah, white mesh. Excuse me. Just export that asset. Still, yeah, that's white mesh. Okay, just go back to that one. Because I'm technically just using it as a standing until, well, I'm not even, I may go back and do that particular room at some point in the future. I'm just not gonna say anything about it just yet. So there's that light. So, but I think it is a bit taller than that in the renders, yeah, and it would be, it's over the wall. So I could just literally push it up like that a little bit and then kind of push that down a bit. So you've got to remember there was going to be a thickness there, so it's going to be about here, isn't it? And you've got one there. Roughly. Guess that's not that one then. And you got two of them side, but you're not going to technically see them to that side. So what that allows me to do now is, because I know where they're at, I can kind of not put the light source there, put it where it needs to go. Kind of have like a little bit of a light source coming over. Just there, and obviously because I've got lights there, that'll light up that car there. Oh, but then again, what? No, because that's after that, isn't it? Right, let me just re-render camera 1 now, knowing this. See, all I'm doing is just trying to make it look a bit more interesting. And then I can actually just get this rendered, get the masking done, and that's another room off the bloody list that needs doing. Have a look at that now anyway. Oh, that's slowly getting with the rendering. Slowly being the operative word. I think it takes about 3 minutes roughly to render 1024 by 768 renders. Especially when the poly counts start doubling up and everything. I think the highest room poly count I've hit so far is about 470,000. But it's not like the highest amount of polygons I've done for a Resident Evil room, because that was the Dead Factory, the bridge area, where you get the choice to either push Nemesis off or to fall off or jump off. That was over about 800,000 polygons, or was that the... No, it might have been the actual room before that. But yeah, I think that was like the highest poly room I've ever built. And that's literally because of the amount of crap that's in those rooms. Because you got like your foliage and all your trees and everything, and then there's all the external stuff in the distance you see, and it all adds up at the end. So it's like I say, it's crazy what you have to put up with some of this stuff. Especially when you see that little thing in the distance and you're like, do I want to model it? And the answer is usually no, but you decide to do it anyway because that's keeping within consistency. Yeah, this is going to be a long 3 fucking minutes. Let's just see what this render looks like. I'll probably throw a few cans here and there as well. It's just literally all I'm doing is just trying to make it look a bit more, well, I would say the word apocalyptic, but then there are some areas in there that aren't as I call it, busy. Like you got a lot of stuff in there, then the room's busy because there's a lot of stuff going. But a lot of the rooms in RE2 aren't as busy as you think until you actually look at them. It's like the beginning area of a scenario where you might get the occasional glass, but the street is entirely clean. It's a lot cleaner than you'd think. It's just the glass from when the truck crashes into the bloody squad car. But it's when you look like you play for RE3 and you look at some of their stuff and the amount of busyness that's in there, you've got bloody pipes everywhere, you've got bloody wood, you've got bloody doors that have been barricaded up with bloody mattresses and pianos, and you've got all these little trinkets and that, and it's just like a bit more detailed. It gives you a different like impression. So I'm trying to get the best of both worlds by trying to implement some of the stuff from both games and try to do it in these original rooms. It's just how far do you go with it? Let's keep the render going. I just want to see. Because another thing I've had pointed out to me by people who've looked at this, it's like it's too dark. Which is one of the reasons why to change the floor texture to be a bit more brighter, considering it's a road. But again, I'm going through it now, looking over and seeing, can I put a light source in there? Can I maybe add an extra light in here and everything like that? And it's just trying, just make the rooms look more interesting. Which isn't hard to do because I've done it that many times now, but it's just trying to just make things a little bit more interesting. So you're not just running through and seeing the same thing again and again and again, which is another thing I tried to do, but then it was like, oh, that just looks very weird, change it. It's like, this is me trying to be, you know, not touch the map and change it in any bloody way, but then all that wouldn't make any sense. Well, it would. It bloody would if Capcom knew, you know, what the actual map to Raccoon City was and didn't change it every frigging game. There's no consistency, which winds me up. Oh dear. Right. I think as soon as this is rendered, I might actually just do a little bit of a spoiler test. Show off at least some of the stuff I've been working on. It's not really spoiling much because it's only just got finished this morning when I put the masks in. It's just, you don't know what to show. I don't really want to know what to show, but I'll post, you know, I won't post it. I'll just put it up on here in a minute and just do a little run through of stuff. Not like every room. I'm just going to be showing bits and pieces off, and that's about it. Just so people understand that yes, I have been working on it. I haven't just been sitting on my ass twiddling my thumbs. It just takes a lot of like work to do, which is why I haven't streamed like much stuff in over 5 months, because I've just been that busy tinkering away with modeling stuff and texturing stuff and scripting stuff and writing programs to make stuff easier, and people just don't seem to realise how bloody hard this stuff can be unless you've been doing it, and then you understand it. It's like, oh, fucking text triggers and changing the text that the message trigger has, and then making it so it's a cutscene one, so it goes after a certain time, and then, oh, Jesus wept. It's a lot of shit that has to be done. But you can see those lights, that's always a good thing. If you haven't figured it out, it's the back of the RPD, because that's the street, but I've obviously added the street after that point because you never actually get past there because the barricades in the way. But with regards to this mod, it lets you jump barricades because as long as it's, you know, climbable in terms of climbing height, you can jump behind the barricade and carry on the street there. So this is the street after that. So those lights are thrown in like at the back entrance where the helipad stairwell is, so you go up that way. But I haven't modelled that in because I just can't be bothered at the moment. Because it means we're having to do a lot of rebuilding and I don't have the patience for it at the minute. I just want to get this section done and then think about the pretty stuff after the fact and get that stuff done at a later date. Ah, see, so it adds a little bit of light to there now. Just on top of that car in front, which is good because that's what I wanted it to do. But I might actually just push them over just a little teensy bit. I'm not going to re-render that though, because what I'm going to do is, if I can get this to give me a minute. I think it's, nope, that's changing the volume. That's it. Now I've turned the volume off. What? Let's pause it. Right. So let me. What would it be under? Got that many bloody things up on this thing. Let's see if I can get number 7 to do it. No, no. Probably have to do game capture, wouldn't I? Right, let me add another one. So it's going to be game capture. Let's Okay, is it? Yeah, that's it. Right, let's have a look. Why is it not loading it? Sweat of Christ, this drives me nuts. Hey, let's show it off, but then let's not show it off because it won't load. Why? Why won't it load it? No? Yeah, capture specific. Right, give me a minute. Let me see if I can capture it and show you, because it's... I don't bloody know what to do here. See, window capture, I thought would capture it. Oh, you capture it. Right, fine. Let me just bung this in here. Make this just maybe a little bit bigger. Yeah, let's just show a little bit of it off. Let's... I think that's going to be coming through the mic though, isn't it? I don't think it's going to be... Alright, I'll see if that works anyway. In fact, this is the street I'm working on, so... let me just... Don't you even lunge at me, you son of a bitch. Let me just make myself invincible. Because I am just testing it a bit. No! Get off. Right. So kind of exclusive because I'm showing it off. As you can see what I mean by it's a bit darker than what it should be, and I need to work on that. So this has got masking in. The music isn't final. I still need to change some of the BGM tables on this. So I've rebuilt this entire room. I've been scripting it. Shut up, Igor. No one cares. Right. I still need to fix these AOT triggers as well, because they are here somewhere. Again, I need to change that. So you can probably recognise this one straight away. I'll just walk around it. I'm not even going to run. But as you can see, I've actually added buildings in the distance because you get to jump those barricades. Or slide through in this case, because if... I'm going to try and get a bit of wiggle room in with it. But yeah, I mean, this was already rebuilt years ago. I just needed to tweak it a bit. And then I know I've added the door, the text trigger here, so I'll just click on that and it'll say the door is locked. Can't see anything, so I need to change that a little bit. So yeah, that's about as much spoilers I'm going to show here, because yeah, that's about as much as I'm going to show for that, because that's all it was just spoilers. So yeah, that's what I'm up to at this point. I'm just masking this one up, and then I can keep pushing on the next ones and the next ones. So I'm as close to that when I was masking it this morning, and that's as far as I've got. And this is the one I'm doing now. But the masking takes forever. But re-rendering everything and then increasing the quality a little bit just to make it that more interesting is also something I've had to do as well. But again, excuse me, what can you do? This is what's got to be done. So just bear with me a minute. I'm just thinking what I can do with this. In this instance, I'm just going to save this and save this as 0.1. Go back and re-render camera 0. Like I said, getting the text, the door triggers in the right place, it's just something I'm just like tweaking and finalising as well. Sometimes when I do it, it either makes it too small or it's too big or it's like so much off from where the initial trigger zone is, and that's literally because the coordinates are all buggered up every time, which has got nothing to do with the way the tool does it. I'm just looking at what the coordinates are giving me. I convert that into hex, and then sometimes the hex is a little off, or maybe I've input it the wrong way around, and if you do it the wrong way around, you're about like 20,000 on bloody one thing and negative 30 on the bloody other, and it's way off. So what I'll do is I'll just render these, and then I'll probably do the masking for this, but not on stream. I'll do that like away, because it's the most boringest thing ever, and I would not want to watch, I wouldn't want to put all you guys watching it through it, because it's just like watching paint pissing dry, literally. It's the most tedious thing ever. There's no fun in it. Some people love it, I don't. I think it's a pain in the ass trying to get sprites to bloody mask and work and everything else. Because it's not just a case of getting them done, converting them into the size that the engine uses and then putting them in. It's also getting the depth that it's from the camera. So you have to sit there, play test it every time, make sure your character's running through it, and then hope to Christ it works like with enemies that are coming through it as well. And it's just tedious as hell. So that's why I won't ever do masking on stream, because it's just too much of a frigging pain in the ass. So I'm just going to get these renders done, and then do all the downscaling and keep tinkering and tweaking away. And I might do another stream showing the next set of rooms after this. I'll probably might do it tomorrow. It might be the day after. I haven't decided yet, but when I do, I'll update me X account, I'll update Blue Sky, whatever, and then I'll go from there. Set 0-1. Like I said, the only reason why I haven't been streaming as much is because I've been that busy with this project. Busy with a lot of stuff in real life stuff, and looking at the backlog of games I've still got to go through and stream. And then getting hold of Metal Gear Solid, the board game. So I'll be playing on that at some point. So much shit I've got to do. So I'll just render all these out. And then get the masking done. Might even show it off in tomorrow's stream if I do it, or Wednesdays. Just say, yeah, this room's done. It's finished. I don't have to worry about it anymore. There's about another 1 million to go. Because see, the only reason why I'm doing all the masking now is because I'm kind of just wanting to get a teaser trailer out. So I want these to be as, pristine as I can get them. And I did do like a... What would I call that trailer I showed like so many months ago? It's more of like a proof of concept trailer, but try to like nail down the aesthetics and stuff. So that was kind of what that is. And the next trailer I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing some of the actual gameplay off. But it takes time. It's not just like... an idea behind writing all the tools I've been doing is so I can script stuff a lot quicker, because I've already got templates set up, and I can just use the templates and just adjust the code as I need to. But it's calculating the block like data as well, so if you're going to be doing a lot of if statements, if you've picked up an item, you have to make sure the block data is correct for whatever you want it to do, because otherwise it doesn't work, or if it's like really, really less than what it is, it will just crash the game and say like, look, go back and fix the fucker. So there's been a lot of that. A lot of fixing, a lot of understanding how it works, and then trying to make it interesting as well. Which is why I've not really said much about it, or why I've not been posting about it, or anything like that, because I just want it all to be like a surprise when it finally does get that teaser trailer out. But like I say, I'm always posting like render updates and stuff, whether I'm on the Discord I'm on, or posting on X, on the Blue Sky account. That's where they usually go up, and it's just little like teasers of what's going to be happening, and then try and get a bloody trailer up soon. Because I haven't put an ETA on it yet. It'll just go up when it does. but I'm just trying to like not do too bloody much, because this is why Guiding Remake's on slow burn. It's why you got like Elric and Enrico doing revisited stuff. There's me doing this, and because we're doing like 2 separate projects, when we've kind of got progress on those, then guidance stuff will start happening again, because I'll start dripping in more, because we've got one side of the ship done in terms of like a few of the flaws, but the thing is, we've decided we're going to go on the opposite side of the ship as well, because we're not restricted to just one angle like the old Game Boy version of the game. We can build the other side of the ship in a sense, so it means we're having to come up with more ideas for those, which isn't an issue. It's just getting the time to do it. But like I already mentioned, like at the start of this stream, it's a case of with doing this project on my own and learning how the scripting language works, when it gets to us all going back and throwing ourselves at the Gaiden remake, we'll have 3 people capable of scripting all the events and stuff, so it won't be as long with it. It'll take less time, but it's still going to take a while. It's not going to just be, you know, like it's done, that's it. It's not that bloody easy. Bit like this, try and make it look a bit more bloody interesting, and I've just realised that squad car hasn't got a number on it, but I suppose it doesn't really matter, since this room doesn't technically exist. It's just something I've built. Next thing I'm gonna have to do is definitely modify and edit all this bloody sources thing in here. Excuse me. I've got like 1,000,001 different bloody sources all inside Restream, and half of them I don't even bloody remember what they do, and the other half I kind of do, so I'm kind of buggered either way. So I'm just gonna let that re-render everything. I'm telling you, once this is all done and masks and everything, I'm gonna be frigging glad. And it's just a case of kind of tweaking like block data, enemy positions, putting more enemies in if I need to. I know I need to do it for a few of the rooms, but again, because I'm also playtesting, so I'm trying to balance the game and make it a little bit hard in some areas and a little bit easier in others. But again, it's not going to be like scenario A and B like Vanilla 2 is. I'm actually going to be doing things a little bit different for this mod. So there will be an element of zapping per se, but there isn't going to be like a scenario in B, so to speak. But there is going to be certain things where if you take certain things aren't going to be there. Certain things will be different in different rooms depending on what you've done. So there's that. But that's all there's going to be. Because again, I haven't unveiled everything yet. I've been keeping it very close to my pissing chest because I want it all to be a surprise. So we're like, wait, what? And as I say, you know, good things always take a long time to bloody cook and build and everything, so I'm just trying to go with that mindset. And this is what I mean by the fact it takes too long to render, but this is what happens when you want quality rendering. You need to have the patience to have it from like a 1024 by 768 render. Thank God I'm not trying to do anything higher than that, because we'd be here even longer. But this is just to get detail. It's just to make it so those lovely 320 by 240s have got at least a little bit more detail than what they would have done if I just went render at 320 by 240. My God, it's horrible when it does that. The other thing as well, like I mentioned, there's a lot of wiggle room with these streets and these buildings. I can get away with quite a bit, but I've already got like ideas for what I do next. But it's getting there because I've got other rooms to build in other like areas and stuff. But there will be more of the city to see. I'm just taking it easy with it and trying to figure things out. I don't know if I'll be running back anywhere near the clock tower in the game, no, because again, it's the whole 16 camera limit that RE2 has. And until we find an actual way to crack bio-free data, it's going to be, unfortunately, like that for a while. That's 0.2. Re-render 0.3. Ah. I've also noticed when I've just been like showing all those little spoilery bits off, even though they weren't technically spoilery bits, I was just showing the masks and stuff being used, that a lot of the rooms have clouds in the sky. Because I figured out like what the colours were used in the old renders for Resident Evil 2 when you're in certain areas outside. So I've just emulated that in my own renders. So it's keeping consistency. Since this mod is technically set on the night of September the 29th. Not like the remake that changed it by an extra day or something, wasn't it? So I'm trying to keep consistency with that. So yeah, I'm just trying to make these backgrounds as much detail in them as possible, which unfortunately means having to look at like previous areas I've built, and if I can see them technically from an angle, I have to put them in. Which again increases the render time because it's a lot of stuff that needs to be rendered. But the plus hand is I don't have to mask any of that. I think I'd cry if I have to mask a single thing like that far in the distance. I think, in fact, the furthest I've ever had to do like a mask with its depth was about 1,000 and something from the camera in terms of depth, and that's just because it just wouldn't work properly, no matter what I did with it. Anyway, get these rendered. Got a little bit mad with it. Chances are later on I'll look at this and think, no, I can redo this rendering and everything else. It's like the other rooms I've kind of just shown in the game itself. Fair enough for like the vanilla rooms. Just me rebuilding and re-rendering them. The other thing is I want to try and potentially change the angles as well. But then I'd have to redo all the bloody zone data and everything, but I'll think about that. I mean, I did say I wanted to make it a little bit different for those, minus all the unique rooms that there is going to be in this. Might even go a bit mad and just throw a couple of corpses on the floor as well, which kind of does work because rummaging around corpses for ammo and items is going to be one of the main things you have to do to accumulate items. So kind of just like, you know, hint nudging at that, throwing a few hints in there as to what to expect. Because supplies aren't just going to be, you know, like there in front of you. You're going to have to like rummage to find things. I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting. I just realised I don't have my headphones on. I usually have my headphones on when I do these streams, don't I? Oh dear. Oh, get that render done. So that one's 0.3, isn't it? 0.4 doesn't need re-rendering, so I'm just going to skip over that one, go straight to 5. Kind of spoiler, not spoiler, it's just a generic back of something, and that's all I'm going to say on the matter. It's dark in here now, I have to put my lamp on soon. Still rendering. See, if I wanted to be a cleverer bugger, I could take what I've already got to render in the other room from this, and then stick that in. But the problem being is, again, render times. And sitting there and manually figuring out, do I need this part of the building? Do I need this part of the vehicle? Can I kind of potentially rip the front of that vehicle off because you're not going to see it from that angle, which would decrease the rendering time because it will have to render everything. See, these renders I wouldn't even consider final, but I'm still going to put the mask in for this because I might decide to add more crap on the floors and stuff. Because again, it just looks too clean for a street that's been overrun by the fucking undead. You'd think, well, there's got to be at least more glass, maybe a hint of blood here and there because you want to do your narrative and your storytelling. But again, the RE2 game didn't really give you much in the city area of blood and shit. Apart from the corpse with all the knives in the back. I still can't figure out why that was there or how that could have happened. Some of this stuff, it just doesn't make any bloody sense, does it? Oh, it's better. Ooh. At least I can see again. Yeah. So you can kind of see what I mean. Like, I've already got that other area done. It's just flat because I haven't got the actual. Well, I have got the room set up over there and already rendered and ready to go, but it's importing it in and then rendering it again. So I'll do it at some point. Potentially before I unleash the teaser trailer I'm going to do, because I know I'll keep going on about it, but it is going to get done. It's just getting some of this stuff masked. Getting some of the more like stuff I have to do on the tech end of stuff as well. Just realised, thank Christ, I'm not doing any masking because again, it's the most tedious bloody thing when you're doing these rooms to do, and I wouldn't begrudge that in anybody. But unfortunately, if you're going to do this stuff, it has to be done. It's just a case of what it is. Just think this is just one of the new rooms. There's like loads more of these. Stuff I haven't shown, like obviously it'll go up on the trailer, but there's just so many little things I've added in. Again, try to keep the confines of what the actual map is because that's the way I do things, and it should be interesting is all I'm going to say. So that one's number 5. The number 6 now, and then that's all these rooms like re-rendered. But then it's getting the masks done. In fact, I might just show how we do masks in a minute, but I'm not gonna do a whole stream on masks because Jesus Christ. There's certain limits I have to put on myself when I do these streams, and doing masks in an entire stream would just drive everybody mad. It would drive me mad anyway. So get this rendered, and I might just like how you like do it and how it all works. For anybody who hasn't even modded before, it's just maybe that's the interesting part, but it's just doing it all and getting the depth and rinse and repeat testing it to make sure it's correct, and then changing offsets and recompiling the room data. And why have that when we can have some nice lovely renders and some nice, you know, showing of a room that's never been shown until now? Then watch me rant and rave like a lunatic when stuff breaks, or I've ripped the front of a door off a car or something and it's not there in the render, and unless the room's like supposed to be like a little bit dark, it's like, oh, I can get away with that. Not when it's an up close angle though. So I'll get this rendered, then I'll show you what I mean about like sprites and how we can do that in Maya, because there's easy ways to do it. But it's like trying to figure out what needs mask and what doesn't. Because Bioclone Redux obviously allows you to add mask data in. So there's a plus to that, it works, but it's when you have to get everything in, then you need to understand how the controls work with the sprite creation and editing and modifying and putting it in the right place. Because there's so much stuff you got to learn with that. Because the one thing that winds me up is that masks are only on a 256 by 256 texture resolution, but renders on 320 by 240. So you got to make all your masks fit on an image file that's lesser size and lesser res than the actual render is. So if you have like a big long bit, for example, you have to cut the thing up and then do it as individual frigging sprite numbers. Which is why if you ever look at any of the mask data from a room extracted, you'll see it's like broken up into like really small bits with like parts here and there, and that's obviously for optimization for the PS1. And we kind of have a little bit of leniency with the PC. We can kind of like make them bigger, but it's again based on how big and how small you want the renders to be and like what your tech is. And since, you know, PC stuff's a lot more easier to work with, I mean, who the heck would want? I mean, yeah, fair enough, I wouldn't mind seeing this running on PS1 architecture, but that isn't for me to do. I'm out after that. It's at 06. So what I will do now is I'll just quickly go over like what I mean by masking and everything. So this is a perfect example because that SWAT van's going to have a mask, and that will be the mask. So basically, in Maya, we've actually got a command that says render selected objects only. So when I click that and say, like I said, I only want the SWAT van rendering, but at the same time, I'm going to need, say, those light sources there. So as soon as I now render this, you'll see that it only renders the SWAT van. Because I know for a fact I'm going to need that because your character goes behind that. And enemies will be behind it as well and whatever. Oh, now there's an idea. Do I be a sneaky shit and put a zombie behind there that's just waiting, and as soon as you get up there, it's like, ah! Decisions. I might do that. Might be a little shit with it as well. Might make it as you run up to it, it revives and it just kind of like grabs at your legs or something. I don't know. I'm always coming up with crazier ideas. But then there you see in the render. So that would be the mask. Then what I do is downgrade this resolution to be like 320 by 240. Put it on the 256 by 256 mask. It wouldn't matter about breaking that up per se because it would work. And then doing all the masking magic, as I call it, and then changing the depth and that. But I'm not going to go over that in a stream because it's boring. It's really boring doing it. And there's quite a lot to do in terms of masking because you have to account for everything. And another issue is what crops up a lot when I do it is if you've got two cars together, for example, you don't just render those two cars together and then hope to God it works. You've got to render each one separately, import the sprites separately so that one's in front of the other to give the impression it's still, you know, two vehicles together, but because your character might be going behind said cars or in between them, if you've rendered the both in as a mask, your character's going to go behind the second car as well because they've been rendered together, so you have to render them separately and then overlay the other sprite with the other so that it gives the impression that you're running between cars. It's a pain in the ass. This is why I say I hate doing it. So the more complex you make the scene and have so much crap on, the more complex it's going to be with the masks, because they are a pain in the ass to do. You know what, I am going to save that mask now. Sorry, I've just rambled on, don't I? This is the light source I need there. Nah. Right, that's fine. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly save that as 06 mask. And I'll do 00s as well, but I don't think that has any masks. But don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on it, because it might be these that need to be masked. Might also be that too. Be them. Let me just double check. Let me just go into 0 for that one. You see what I mean by, because I've specifically said I want to render only what I click, it's only going to render what I click, excuse me. So when it comes to actually masking it in Maya, it makes it a little bit easier because I don't have to cut things out of the background. I can just render what I need and then put it through. So it makes the process easy, but it's still a pain in the ass. I think there is. I think you do walk behind there. I'll leave that for now, because 01, I definitely need to have these all masked. Not the ground though. We don't want the... No, not the road. The road doesn't need masking. Oh my god. Stop it. That lamppost will... let me check. Hang on. Let's get my layout set up. Let me have a look. Just thinking, if we have enemies in the distance, then this needs to be masked as well. So this section needs to be masked. Not that, not that, and definitely not the pavement, not the glass. Might need... No, actually behind that. Grab those lights as well, just because again it's for rendering purposes, so all the lights are in rendered position. So it renders everything. So if I just render that now... So again, by obviously isolating what I need rendering. Because that lamppost is going to need a mask on it, because you're going to be able to run behind that. Enemies are going to be darting behind that. Why is the SWAT van rendering? I didn't pick the SWAT van. That looks very weird. Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't want the SWAT van rendering. No, I do admit that does look cool. That's not what I want. Why did that get highlighted? Thank you. Get off that. Bloody hell. Let's re-render. Wow, that really is dark. What the f... Is there a light source I've missed there? Am I going to have to actually add one? Because that just looks a bit... But then again, it doesn't really matter, does it? Right, let's just re-render that again. That's what I mean. It's like absolute pain in the ass trying to figure out mask them. That's why sometimes I've set the things up specifically for layouts, So I've got the actual game cameras on one side, and I've got my own little perspective on the other for selecting stuff, and I've just got to try and work it out from there. It's a pain in the ass. There we go. So that's kind of like what the mask is, and then you just break it into bits and then stick that on, but I'll save that one now as well. So I'll save that as 01 mask. Right, 02. Yeah, we'll need those bits there. Potentially we'll need the swap van, but do not need that one. So I can just kind of like insulate those. Technically need the squad car because it's a little bit there, so if an enemy does get behind there, that little bit of the car will be in front. Right, re-render that. And this is what I mean by it being tedious, which is why I'm not going to be doing like a full part of a stream devoted to doing the masks, because it's just boring shit. It really is. Turns any sane person insane. I'm already crazy, so it doesn't really matter. It's perfect. But you can see, like, one of the other issues is now, as you can see, but then again, technically, if there is an enemy behind up there, it's going to be masked, so it doesn't really matter. Ignore the ramblings of a crazy man. So that's 02, isn't it? So let me look at camera 3. So camera 3, I'm definitely going to have to need those, but I also am going to need that lamppost there and these parts of the wall here. Potentially that little bit there as well. But I won't need that car rendering anymore, so I can get rid of that. Oh, I will probably need that rendering too, because that's there. In case like the enemy gets behind just that little bit area, or the player does, it's got a mask in front of that. So let me just render this now. So that's camera 3. No, wrong button. We're not going there. So you see like how I mean how it's easy now with this, because just realised I don't need that part of the... Well, technically I do need that part of the wall. So I mean, you have to really work at the masks and look at them, because it's like, do I need that? Do I need this? Yes, I bloody do need these bits. So I'll just save that one as 03. Set 03's mask. 04 doesn't have a mask, so let me go straight to 05. Right, 05 has not got any. And I've already done 06. That's pretty much the masks done for that. Right, perfect. Right, what I will now do then is end the stream here, because I've got to do all the masks next. It's the most tedious part. I'm not going to put you through that, watching all of it, because it will bore the hell out of you. So I'll get that masking done for this room. Show it off in the next stream, just to show that yes, there is masks there. And then progress on to the next rooms, show them off a little bit. And then hopefully just try and get this all done so I can get a trailer set up. But that's the idea. It's getting there. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining in this stream. I hope you've learned something from this. Which is kind of what the idea is behind it. And just to generally look at stuff and just see where I'm going with this. And then hopefully I'll get back to doing other stuff soon. It's just getting my life sorted and getting everything sorted out. And just real life sucks. Let's just put it that way. It's just one of those bloody things. There's never enough time to do anything because you've got that much stuff to do. Anyway, next stream will come up. This room will be masked, hopefully, and then carry on to the next one, which should be fun because that one is an iconic room. But I'm not going to say anything. I'll keep you guessing with that one.